Chapter 16, A Fractured Fantasy. Having just found a foxglove petal in Charles's shed, you're now blocked by Charles from escaping. Charles, I thought you were at work. Didn't I tell you my shed is off limits, Faith? There's an ominous edge to his voice. Behind your back, you rub the foxglove petal anxiously between your fingertips. You did, but I wanted to check out where you work. I've been dying to get a better glimpse into your carpentry world. I know how much your work means to you. That doesn't change the fact that it's dangerous in here. You know how much your safety means to me, don't you? Before you can answer, he takes your hand and gives you a tug. Come on, let's get you out of this shed. But your foot catches on a stray tool on the ground, and as you trip over it, Charles catches you by the waist. Whoa. You were right about this area being dangerous. Look at him, both of you acutely aware of your bodies pressed together, his pupils dilate with want. Very dangerous, that's why I asked you not to come here. Noting the sultry growl in his voice, yours takes on a teasing tone. Are you really that angry I broke one of your rules? Yes. You know, you're much more troublesome than you look. Despite the possible danger of the situation, the husky edge of his voice makes you feel dizzy with lust. See, I think what you meant to say is, you like that I keep you on your toes. Is that so? You bite your lip as Charles trails his fingers up your arms, trying to keep the upper hand as you nod with conviction. And I can prove it. Up the danger. You capture his lips with your own, noting with a thrill that he reciprocates at once, hands grabbing more tightly at your arms. Careful not to get lost in the slick feeling of his tongue against yours, you pull back with a sultry grin. See, the shed's not so bad, is it? Is that meant to distract me from the fact that you broke my only rule? You nip hard at his lower lip, feeling him shudder before you can swipe your tongue against the same spot. If I said yes, would you say it's working? Tingles race through you as he brushes his fingernails lightly down your arms, leaning in to whisper in your ear. I'd say you're being utterly predictable. What happened to keeping me on my toes? Is that a challenge? Oh, Charles, how naughty of you. I'll surprise him by pushing him up against the door, ripping his shirt open. You grab him by the shoulders and shove him against the door. He lets out a gasp as he comes back. His back comes in contact with the wood. Oh. But you didn't forget that I'm naughty too, did you? Before he can produce a coherent response, you kiss him hard. He groans in delight, letting himself sink into your manhandling. His hands begin to wander, traveling your way back down to the curves of your ass. Nuh-uh, I'm in control. You take his hands and lift them up over his head, pinning them against the door and bringing your lips down to lavish attention on his neck. Troublesome indeed. You can feel his patience of being in a position of submission begin to wane, his wrists flexing in your grasp. Uh-oh, someone going to break the rules? With a growl, he ducks his head to bring his lips to yours once again. This kiss is fueled with frustration, making you both gasp for breath. I guess that makes us both too naughty for our own good. You feel a tingle of arousal between your legs at his husky bravado. Before you know it, he's broken your hold and pushes you back against the wall. You're not the only one with moves. He crowds close to you, overwhelming your senses with the feeling of his powerful muscles and growing hardness pressed up against you. Oh, Charles. You pant as he nips teasingly at the column of your throat. Belatedly, you realize he's grabbed hold of your wrist to pin them above your head. Now I've got you right where I want you. You flash a smirk at the look of raw lust on his face, his grip strong around your wrists. You flex your fists and push against his hold, only to feel him double the pressure, keeping you pinned. He lets out a low chuckle. You didn't think I'd go easy on you, did you? You meet his gaze, not backing down, heart beating a rapid staccato in your chest. I didn't want you to. Careful what you wish for. His mouth races to your neck, instantly devouring you at the pulse. You feel the scrape of his teeth as he squeezes your wrists. He slips his knee between your thigh, and you can't help rubbing against him, gasping at the friction against your sensitive center. He'll show you who's in charge. You go breathless as he curls a hand around the back of your neck, tilting your head in the other direction to nip at your earlobe. Get up on the table. Without waiting, he takes your waist and hefts you onto the table, some tools clattering to the floor. You can barely keep up with him as he takes your chin in his hand, centering your face to meet his eyes. You blink dazedly. Look at me. Your heart pounds, Charles' intensity thrilling you, and an illicit small twinge of fear in the pit of your stomach. I'm looking. His lips spread in a slow smile of pleasure. He brushes his lips against yours, still holding onto your chin. Tell me you're going to behave from now on. Charles, being bad is more fun. Don't you ever get the urge to be naughty sometimes? You spread your legs wider and take his hand and guide it beneath your skirt, shuddering as he touches your panties. I'm getting an urge right now. He holds a smoldering look, eyes brimming with lust. He takes your hand and brings it down between his legs, your fingers brushing against him. An urge to make you pay for being so unruly. Suddenly, he braces his hands on the table beside your hips, pinning you in place as he rolls his hips against you. Grabbing your waist, he pulls you tight against him. You meet the movement of his hips with your own, needing to feel more. Naughty girls get their punishment. You reach for his belt, his eyes searing with want as you start to unbuckle it. There you go. But suddenly, an alarm sounds. He pulls himself away from you, digging out his phone and shutting off the alarm. He stands staring down at the screen for several silent moments. You still feel the tension in the air. Charles? His eyes meet yours, the lust still blazing in them. He responds gruffly. Lucky for you, your punishment will have to wait. I can't get sidetracked from work. Look in his eyes, coupled with the words, sound like a promise you can barely wait for. I just came back from home for my wallet, but I saw the shit door open and had to make sure you were okay. Come on, let's go. You feel like a live wire as he takes your wrist and leads you out of the shed, making sure to padlock the door this time. A padlock message received loud and clear. Charles leads you into the house, an electric silence lingering between you. When he heads upstairs for his wallet, his feet thump heavily. Someone isn't happy about having to go back to work. But now that he's leaving, I'm back to square one. You retrieve the foxglove petal, and you've covertly tucked away, studying it lingering dread. What does this mean, Charles? Could there be more he's hiding in the shed? This have an innocent explanation. Charles looked guilty before, but it was always a misunderstanding. This has to be one too, right? Even if I confront him, he's not going to just come out and tell me the real story, especially now that I snuck into his shed. You smuggle the flower again, feeling a rejuvenated sense of determination as you seamlessly slip back into detective mode. No matter what, if I'm going to get answers from him, I need to win back his trust first. The question is how. You drift into the kitchen, waiting for inspiration to strike, when your gaze falls on a fresh loaf of bread on the counter. That's perfect. I'll make him lunch that he can bring to work. He never has time in the morning to do it for himself. Your gaze travels to the sexy apron you recently ordered online. You take it off its hook and hold it up to yourself, grinning devilishly. And if that still isn't enough, seeing me in this number will definitely do the trick. Dishy number. You quickly shuck off your clothing, pulling the apron, admiring how the fabric barely covers anything in front and nothing at all in the back. Let's hope Yvette doesn't walk in. Good luck staying mad at me when I'm wearing this. I'll have you kissing the cook in no time. You're making a sandwich. I'm just saying. I can't. Continue. You're Charles on the stairs and quickly get in a position, opening the refrigerator, bending over to retrieve ingredients for a turkey sandwich. Faith, I'm headed back to work. His voice catches on a sharp breath as he catches sight of you and your shapely rear, completely bare and on display. Oh. Smirking to yourself, you wiggle your hips side to side, arching your back a little more, giving him a quick glimpse of your bareness. Already working like a charm. You casually straighten up and turn around with turkey, veggies, and condiments in hand, and spread them across the kitchen counter. Are you sure I can't entice you to stay a few minutes longer? You fold your arms on the counter and bending low to give him a generous view of your cleavage beneath the cherry pattern of your apron. What are you doing? You pout and walk up to him, noting the way his eyes jump from your thighs to your hips and back to your face as you touch his arm. I'm really sorry for breaking your rules and going into your shed. I wanted to make it up to you. You perform a quick turn, feeling the heat of his attention jumping to your rear. Do you like my outfit? If you can call it an outfit. I'm making you a sandwich to take back to work with you. I even put on this special apron so I wouldn't get all dirty in the process. His eyes travel over your body, clearly liking the idea, so much so that you can see how much effort it takes for him to shake his head. Don't worry about it, I don't need to bring lunch. You catch his hand before he can leave, stroking across his knuckles with your thumb. You work so hard, I just want to make sure my man is taken care of. Is that so bad? This is horrible. Oh my god. You can even tell he's like disinterested. He's like, no, I gotta get to work. Oh my god. Come on, indulge me. You may be surprised by my sandwich making skills. I only have a few minutes. Charles puts up no resistance as you sit him down. Turning back to the counter, you begin to assemble a sandwich exactly how he likes it. If I recall correctly, it's heavy on the mustard and light on the tomatoes. He leans over your shoulder and his eyes slowly slide from where they'd been fixed on your ass up to your face. His voice comes husky. Your memory is spot on. A few minutes and a lot of unnecessary shimming later, you have completed a turkey sandwich. I can't. Oh my god. If you guys are laughing at this, I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying. They're just acting like it's rocket science. Continued. The perfect turkey sandwich, you know. Time to step this up a notch. I'll seductively lick my finger, inviting him to take a bite. Show some skin. Aren't you showing enough of that as it is? Seductively licked my finger. Oops, I got mustard all over my finger. You bring your finger to your lips, slowly licking off the condiment, keeping your eyes locked on Charles, who squirms in his seat. How clumsy of you. You pack up the sandwich in a paper bag, adding a juice box. And an apple? Oh boy. There we go. A well-balanced meal. You turn to him, placing your hands on his chest, blinking your eyes earnestly. I hope you can forgive me for earlier. My curiosity got the best of me. I just wanted to know why the shed is off limits. You feel a triumphant thrill as his fingertips stray across your back to the apron ties, slowly trying to undo them. I'm planning something special for you. I'd hate for you to ruin that surprise. His cryptic words excite you despite the dangerous undertone, or maybe even because of it. Well, maybe you could give me a hint? Maybe I could. His fingers have been continuously moving against your back, but you feel him growing frustrated as he struggles with a knot. As much as I like the outfit, a naughty smirk tugs at his lips. His hands leave your back, only to grab the hem of your apron at your thighs. I'd like it even better on the ground. But she went into so much effort putting it on. I mean, God. He pulls the garment over your head and casts it aside. Before you know it, you're sinking into the feeling of his calloused hands on your body. Oh, yeah. Charles pulls you close and whispers huskily in your ear. How about we finish what we started after I caught you red-handed in my shed? Please. You shiver as he crosses your thigh, wetness building at your center. He brings his lips within inches of yours as he presses you against the counter. Look at you making lunch has made me so hungry. He weights two of his fingers with his mouth and brings them... It was over quick, don't worry about it. You can return the favor tonight since I'm now officially late to work. He grabs the bag from the counter, passing in front of you again to brush a teasing kiss to your cheek. Thanks for the sandwich. And the juice box. Trust me, it was my pleasure. You continue to pant, slumped against the counter as he heads for the front door. You watch Charles drive away through the window, a giddy smile glued to your face. I'd say Operations Win Back Charles' Trust was a success, and I'm sure I can keep the ball rolling. You look around for inspiration, noting the leftover sandwich ingredients on the counter. Charles appreciates a clean home. I'll surprise him by doing some of the household chores. And if I happen to stumble upon anything suspicious while cleaning, so be it. After putting your apron back on and cleaning the kitchen counter, you head to the garage in search of trash bags. You spot a digital camera on a shelf. I would hope that you have clothing on underneath your apron this time. Curiosity driving you, you turn the camera on and click through the photos, immediately smiling at what you find. How cute. These are all childhood photos of Yvette. Oh, look at Charles in that matching headband. He has so many pictures with Yvette. That's so sweet of him. He's such a loving father. There's no way he can be a murderer. After looking through most of the pictures, you put the camera back where you found it and grab the trash bags. You move to the backyard and stuff the trash bags into the trash can, the shed looming at the edge of your vision. I have to know if there's anything else damning in there, if only for my own peace of mind. You look around to make sure the coast is clear, but as you edge towards the shed, you stumble over a piece of red plastic hidden in the bushes. A gas can! Oh! Your heart rattles as you eye the gasoline can haphazardly stashed away. Grab the can with shaking hands and immediately notice it's empty. It can't be the fires. Is this what was used to burn my house down? Why is it here? Could Sadie be framing him? The way she looked at me the night of the fire, could she be trying to drive us apart? Or is it a step too far even for her? Could this gasoline really be Charles's? Feeling numb, you sift through the implications of the gas can belonging to Charles being used to burn down your house. By keeping me close, he'd be able to keep a closer eye on my snooping with the goal of keeping me off his trail. Shaken, you put the gas can back where you found it. Charles, please tell me you can explain this. Please convince me it's all a coincidence and you're really the man of my dreams. Later that night, you're in bed next to Charles. He's fast asleep, but you toss and turn, running your latest discoveries through your mind. I wish I knew what to believe and who to suspect. Charles, please be innocent. If everything between us has been a lie, I don't think I could take it. Unable to clear your head, you decide to head downstairs for a glass of water. You slip out of bed, careful not to wake him. But as you quietly creep into the dark kitchen, you jump at the sight of a mysterious shadow figure. Who's there? Shh, you're gonna wake up, Dad. It's just me. You turn on the light to see Yvette snacking, and checking her phone, she tilts her pint of ice cream towards you. Want some? It's double chocolate fudge. I'm good, thanks. I just came down for a glass of water. It wasn't a suggestion. Said, I've been wanting to talk to you. Okay. You sit across from Yvette, trying not to fidget under her intense stare. She hesitates a moment before the words come out of her in a rush. Fade, look, I had you all wrong when we first met. I thought you'd buy the lies the HOA spreads about my dad and treat him like an outcast. Or worse, judge him while also trying to get into his pants like Sadie. Oh, well, she's one of a kind. That's one way to put it. My dad hasn't had someone he could trust in a really long time, and it's been forever since I've seen him this happy. I'm grateful he found you. Thank you, Yvette. Your approval means a lot. I just wish things were as simple as you described them. I wish I didn't have all these new doubts. Don't read too much into it. I'm not saying he's ready to get married again or anything, but you two are seriously good together. You hesitate, searching for the perfect response. Yvette picks up on your unease. Why don't you look as convinced? I just worry he's not ready to move on. He loved your mom so much, I don't want to rush things. Dad and Mom were great together, but nothing can bring her back, and I think he's finally starting to accept that. Not rushing things is smart, but don't go too slow. I can tell he's already fallen for you, and I don't want him to miss out on this chance. Thanks for your thoughts. You're pretty wise, you know. Something not said nearly enough. Look, I get why you have your reservations. I just love seeing my dad this way. Fun, carefree, like when I was a kid. Not so serious all the time. Remember the camera you found in the garage that was full of Yvette's childhood pictures? Now that you mention it, I did see a few photos of you and your dad on the digital camera in the garage. Oh my god, I haven't looked through those in years. Good thing the battery was still working, you know? I guess you could maybe take a little walk down memory lane with me, if you really wanted to. Yvette's opening up. This could be the perfect chance to seal the bond, not to mention learn what Charles was like when she was young. Walk down memory hill. Yvette leads you to the garage with a bounce in her step and grabs the camera off the shelf giddily. This is going to be a total blast from the past. I saw some pretty adorable pics of you and your dad. I'd love to hear the backstory behind them. For sure. She clicks through the photos in reverse order, stopping on one particular. You peer over her shoulder, unable to help your smile. On the camera screen, a not much younger Yvette in a dress stands on the front porch. Charles beside her, looking equally immaculate. Wow, don't you look fancy. My high school dance. Noting the shift in her tone, you look at her sidelong and see that she's caught up in memories. That was right after Mom died. I almost didn't go, but Dad gave me a whole pep talk to convince me I should. He took me dress shopping, insisted on posing for these photos for me the day of. He's such a dork. That's so sweet. Mind if I ask about the pep talk? She rolls her eyes, though there's still a wistful look on her face. Oh, you know, some typical dad thing about how you can be sad about one thing, but still let yourself be happy about something else. That's really wise. And, you know, something like that was coming from the heart, because he was experiencing the same loss as you. Yvette's still staring down at the photo, a smile returning to the corner of her mouth, though it's tinged with pain. I've kept those words with me ever since. Sadness isn't a reason not to experience happiness. It's helped me get through some rough patches. She looks directly at you. I think Dad needs to learn to take his own advice these days. Anyway, Dad was right. I ended up having a blast. Good. Those are the kind of memories you can never get back. I still remember my first dance. Yvette shoots you a wry smile. I'm surprised you can remember that far back. Oh, yeah, it was back when, the dinosaurs were roaming the land. We had to fight off, T-Rexes and Velociraptors. Hey, I'm not that old. I'm kidding. Yvette clicks to the next photo and pauses, the memory triggering a laugh out of her. No way, I totally forgot about this. In the photo, Charles is lit from below by an orange sparkling light, leaving his face in a spooky shadow. Charles and fire, is this some sort of sign? Yvette... I can't tell what's happening. Yvette continues to chuckle. I guess you had to be there. It was the 4th of July, and Dad was setting off fireworks. Well, that explains the lighting. I made fun of him for years for this pic. I mean, that face he's making is ridiculous. You're still left with an uneasy feeling as you look at Charles surrounded by the orange glow and feel eager to get the picture off the small screen. What's next? Let's see. She clicks to another photo and lets out a cooing sound at the sight of a much younger version of herself on a bike. Oh, look at me. This was the first time I rode without training wheels. You look closer, noticing the huge smile on her face as she zooms towards the camera when you spot the figure in the distance behind her and laugh. Is that Charles back there waving his arms like that? Yeah, he's so proud of me. He and Mom drew the entire street out of their homes with their cheering. So, was your mom the one taking the picture? Can you tell by how the edges were all blurry? Definitely gives parent trying to document the moment while simultaneously flipping out vibe. Ugh, you have no idea. She and Dad bragged to the entire street for weeks. It was so embarrassing. She lets out a wistful sigh. She was the best. I'm glad you still have things like this photo to remember her by. You feel a yawn working its way out of you, and though you try to stifle it, Yvette shoots you a sharp look. Are my precious childhood memories boring you, Faith? No, of course not. A surge of panic courses through you at the thought of reversing all the progress you've made with Yvette, but she elbows you in the side. I'm just messing with you. I know it's late for you old people. I guess I can't argue with you there. We can look through more another time. I'd love that. Seriously. And you bet. I hope we can add some memories of our own one day. You have so many milestones ahead of you, and if me and your dad keep getting closer, it's just been me and my dad for so long. But I guess I can adjust having a third wheel around. He let a surprised laugh. Is that what I am, a third wheel? I'd say it's more like there's three's company now. Anyway, that's enough of being heartwarming for one night. I'll put the camera back. Night. Good night. You return to the bedroom, torn between Yvette's optimism and your own doubts, only to find Charles sleepily rubbing his eyes. Faith, what time is it? Is everything okay? Everything's fine. I just went to get some water. Come back to bed. He draws you down with a hand on your waist, and under the warmth of his smile, you work up the nerve to be honest with him. I want to ask you something. Have you been completely honest with me? This week has been a dream come true, but I just want to make sure you're not keeping anything from me. I will talk in the morning. Your heart breaks as he rolls over, and you pray you'll wake up tomorrow morning to learn everything about today was a dream. Good night, Charles. He's going to kill you while you sleep. Sometime later, you're awakened by the bed creaking. You pretend to be asleep as Charles slowly slips out of bed and tiptoes out of the room. What the hell is he up to this late at night? Your heart racing, you get out of bed and follow him as he disappears into the dark of the night. The gasp! Alright, without further ado, thank you all for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description, plenty of things to check out there, ways to support the channel, and to become an intricate part of this community. So with that being said, I'm having a little bit of fun, let's put it that way. That's why I'm laughing. You know, it's really hard. It's really hard to take some of this shit really seriously sometimes, and hopefully, I don't know. I just I look at it as, she like put on the apron and the whole 9 yards, and it's just funny to me. It is just really funny to me. It's like they try to make it so much bigger than it really was, and then at the same time, it's like, oh, she made a sandwich. Oh, it still makes me chuckle. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Once again, I apologize about being late. The whole sickness and things like that. But sometimes, you just, there's nothing you can do about it, So once again, thanks for watching. Love your beautiful faces. Catch y'all later. Peace out.